you? What have you done?
While many game announcements catch my eye, rarely do they capture my imagination. BioShock, No Man's Sky, and Assassin's Creed are games that had me dreaming of far-off places and infinite possibilities. They captured my imagination. And the Invincible might just do the same. Howdy friends, I'm Kanaju, and this is why I'm personally looking forward to The Invincible. The Invincible is a sci-fi adventure based on the novel of the same name by Stanisław Lem. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. It's being developed by Starward Industries, a Polish game studio. It's the studio's first title, but it's looking to be quite an impressive debut. That's because the team at Starward is composed of experienced developers who have worked on titles such as The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Dead Island, and more. As you can probably already tell from the B-roll in the background, this game is eye-catching at every moment. Whether it's the key art, a promotional screenshot, or actual gameplay, every look you get at The Invincible is absolutely captivating. It's planned to release on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, making it a current-gen exclusive. By focusing on newer hardware, I think they stand a fair chance of actually achieving their vision. Besides the fidelity of the visuals, though, the art direction is impeccable. Sean Murray, co-founder of Hello Games, has said that they really tried to capture the feeling of stepping into a vintage sci-fi book cover when creating No Man's Sky. I always loved that visual, and it's fair to say that Starward have taken that approach to the extreme. Everything from the spacesuits, to the analog equipment, to the robots, to the vehicles, screams retro-futuristic. Atompunk. Even the landscapes of Regis 3, the planet you'll be exploring, have that vague mystery that's all too common in old sci-fi book covers. Everything looks straight out of the space race, and I couldn't be happier. So visually, it's perfect for me, checking all the right boxes. But plenty of games, sci-fi games in particular, have beautiful graphics. What else sets The Invincible apart? Well, there are two answers to that question: the story and the setting. Let's look at the story first. As I mentioned, it's based on The Invincible by Stanisław Lem, a science fiction novel published in 1964. Now, I must state that I have not read the novel. I've heard it's innovative and thought-provoking, though, and you know what? If it was good enough to inspire this team to form a new studio to create a video game adaptation of it, I trust there must be something there, right? Interestingly, though, the game's story isn't completely linear. You'll be able to make decisions for yourself that might influence your experience in different ways. I like this approach as it gives readers of the original novel a chance to experience new story beats within the narrative they're already familiar with. It also makes it replayable. How extensive these choices are remains to be seen, though, but I like the ambition of it. Now, if you're wondering what the actual story is, the premise of the game, well, that ties into the setting, so let's talk about both. The Invincible is the name of your spaceship. You play as a scientist on a mission to Regis 3, a remote, unexplored planet with a dark secret. The rest of your expedition's crew went missing, so it's up to you to uncover their fates, as well as study the strange planet itself. Of course, that's just the beginning from what I can tell. So it's part space mystery, part space adventure, but it all sounds fantastic. The setting, the planet Regis 3, is exactly the kind of world I would love to explore. It has sandy deserts, dark canyons, alien plant life, and mysterious structures on the horizon. Again, it's that old book cover that I'd love to step into and explore. Speaking of which, I should probably talk more about the actual gameplay. It's a first-person game for starters. This will allow you to really get into cramped spaces and comb over every detail. Plus, they've considered the possibility of a VR port down the line, so the gameplay also lends itself to that. You'll interact with a variety of Atompunk technology, analog equipment, since the book is based on a 1960s vision of the future. Everything they've shown has a real physical quality to it, and I look forward to immersive gameplay and fiddling with all those dials and switches. Besides walking around and interacting with things, the game also features drivable vehicles and some limited combat. Based on the fact that you have a sort of personal radar and the anti-mat robots seem hostile in the demo, I could also imagine some light stealth gameplay at some point. So, all of this plays perfectly into the retro-futuristic fantasy, but the game plans to explore more than just the aesthetics of the book. The novel explores humanity in the face of the unknowable, according to a synopsis I read, and it draws heavily from the time and place in which it was written, the Cold War, the space race. The Starward team has shown a real reverence for the author through concept art and even an animation they did. The game's website itself tells an intimate story of a lone crash survivor and a robot. New panels are added periodically if you want to check it out. All of this gives me faith that they fully intend to do the book's themes justice. We'll just have to wait and see if they pull it off, though. And that's where we are today. The game looks great, has an enticing premise, and deals with themes I'm excited to explore. But at the end of the day, we won't know how well these elements will meld together until we have the actual game in our hands. Over the years, I've seen a ton of inspiring gameplay demos from BioShock Infinite to Cyberpunk 2077 that didn't exactly fit the final product. So it's always good to be a little bit skeptical. That being said, the studio does genuinely seem intent on creating something special. They left their previous jobs to create this game, an obvious passion project, and I'm rooting for them, because when I see the way the novel captured their imaginations, I feel like there's a fair chance the game will do the same for me. But what about you? Are you looking forward to the Invincible? Had you heard of it before today? Are you skeptical about whether or not the team will be able to pull it off? I'm optimistic, but waiting for reviews is always a good idea. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed my rambling. Giving the spotlight to a smaller indie game was a fun change of pace. I didn't want to go into too much detail, but I encourage you to check out the game for yourself if you're interested. I've put a link in the description. Or, if you're interested in deep dives for other retro-futuristic first-person games, feel free to check out my latest BioShock or No Man's Sky videos. I put a ton of effort into them, so I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!